Hello, 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 hello. Doing some painting. Fancy just chilling out, doing some painting, so I thought I might as well stream it. So, painting some Dreadball bad boys. Painting. Get this bit. Cameras in better positions. Such a professional. Yeah, I'm about bad at the right spot. Oh. So yeah, painting some of these. These are Teratons from Dreadball. So get some paint on them, fellas. They are teleporting rhino turtle things. But they're one of my favourite teams in Dreadball. I really like them. If you if you ever hit them from any of their 3 rear hexes, it's like they panic and teleport randomly. If you want them to, I think. What colours are we doing? What sort of colours are we thinking? Getting sort of beigey flesh tones. Actually look quite good with black armour. Like just these sections of armour, black, but then a real poppy shell. That would look quite cool. Let's run with the flesh tones for now. How has everybody's weekend been? Are we well? Are we happy? Are we getting happy that we're getting closer towards some sort of normality? Can you hear me all right? That's another thing. Lights like right under my bloody head. Let's adjust this a bit. It's better. Yeah, I feel like I'm smacking my head into it now. No, other way, this way, yeah. Professional to a fault. Don't know how I keep up with myself. Nice. Took the kids out to Ely today. Went to a park, a very, very busy park. Nice little walk along the river. It's lovely. Nice to get out. Eden was being her adventurous self. So I do love that girl. She won't let anything stand in her way. Bless her. She's not the delicate little flower that her brother is. Bless him, he gets so emotional about everything, and everything's so dramatic and terrible. But she took quite a nasty fall off this like rope laddery thing. You know, fell sort of pretty firmly on her arse and her back. Just bounced straight up. I'm okay. She's got that kind of nothing can beat me kind of attitude about her, which hopefully will stand her in very good stead. She grows up. At least I certainly hope so. Is that the rest of his arm, or is that armour? It's hard to tell. Yeah, that is his arm. Yeah. Been wanting to get through a lot of these Dreadful teams because I've realised how bloody many of them. Because I'm a big fan of Blackjack Legacy, which is a YouTube channel run by the ever lovely Andy Burdis. who has taken the crazy plunge of doing this sort of thing for a living, obviously to a far higher standard than I. Yeah, he does this for a living, and trying to do his content creation, and he although it's sort of unintentional, he ends up being quite a champion for Mantic games. So in a recent discussion on one of his live streams, about the new Dreadball supplement, the little rule book that came out. We ended up sort of all in the chat deciding to do a little painting contest, contest with no rewards to it or anything like that, just a community thing, which is one of the things Andy's great at, fostering that community vibe. We'll just get a team, get it painted by the end of March. Well, that wasn't an issue for me because I already had more than enough bloody teams. That didn't mean I didn't end up with 2 more teams because I picked up some extra bits because I'm a bloody fool. But I wanted all the updated rules and everything because I think Dreadball is a criminally underappreciated game. I just absolutely love it. I think it's fabulous. So yes, in my sort of deciding what team shall I paint for this little thing, I quickly realised just how bloody many teams I had, and I was like, oh god, I really need to crack on with these bad boys. So I got a bunch of them primed and done. If you go over to my Facebook group, you'll see the latest team I did, which is the Brocker, which is one of it was the second version of the dwarf team that came out. They're kind of like they look like sort of space miners and stuff like that. So they came out after the initial lot, and so I painted them up in a Miami Dolphin inspired scheme, and I was rather pleased with them. In fact, very pleased with how they came out, actually. It took a little bit more time and effort than I would have as a general rule. I was real pleased, real chuffed. I think I might actually get paint stands. These. Quite have enough. Trying to remember how many I have now. Is it 7? Yeah, 7. One we'll have to live without. Bloody hell. God's sake. Super glue to the rescue. God's sake. I think one of the trouble is a lot of my Dreadball teams keep falling apart because I think I misunderstood when I got all these that they were polystyrene plastic. I didn't realise at the time that obviously wasn't the case. So poly cement does not work on them. It holds them, but they fall to pieces quite easily. Such as that, Eventually that poly cement just kind of comes sort of oddly brittle. But luckily, it's usually an easy fix. leave him alone for a bit while he dries. So yeah, I've had a nice Sunday. We had a pretty chilled out Saturday as well, actually. Didn't get up to anything crazy, just chilled out with the kids, you know. They did what they did and played some games. Had a little game night actually with Elliot last night, which was nice. We had some Dragon's Breath. What else did we play? Outfoxed. And a game of Happy Families. A classic that we love. And my wife loves it as well, which is nice because she's not a gamer like myself. It's not her bag, but she tolerates a few, especially for Elliot. She'll tolerate a few. She knows what she likes. I really need to set up having music on in the background of these streams. It's a bit nicer just to have some sort of background noise for when I concentrate and go silent. I imagine I'll be able to rattle through this team pretty quick for the most part. I won't do anything too fancy with them, just some nice popping colours and just get up to a stage where I'm happy with them. Good old contrast paints and do their thing. Save me time. Black armour might look really quite cool on these guys. I think I can make that work. Shall see. I'll know very quickly after one of them if it was a good idea or a bad idea. Trouble is with black, there's not a lot of going back. Apparently once you've got it, you don't go back. Missed a bit there. Another one down. I wish I could get rid of those. How do I get rid of them? Well, I don't want to reply to it. I want to get rid of it. Oh, well, I don't know how. Hopefully somebody says something in the chat and that gets rid of it. Looking forward to the fact that it's not too far away before I get to see some friends properly. The days draw ever closer. And now, of course, today we're officially in spring, which is lovely. my favourite time of year. Do love the spring. You get those like beautiful blue sky days with that sort of cool, crisp, cool breeze, but sunny, sun shining brightly. Nothing better than a British spring day. It used to be my favourite when we used to play golf, when I could do such things. Oh, I loved it. That was really my favourite time of year. Not trying to do anything fancy with these buggers, just get a nice paint job on them so they look good. So it is a team I like to play, but I think it's a team that I wouldn't find necessarily the most sort of tactically fun. They're not a silly team, but they're not, they're not a very normal team. But they're teleporting around, They don't have strikers because obviously they're all big fat rhino turtles, so agility and stuff is not their bag, but they have teleporting, so that makes them agile in a different way. Yeah. Well. So that impressed me today. Actually, he did a thing I've always known him be able to do, but it was to, when you climb up one of the sort of like a rope wall and then get over the log at the top and down the other side. He actually managed to do it today with the encouragement of someone, and I was well impressed, really pleased. My son is one of those kids who sometimes he just needs to believe in himself a bit more. He's far more agile and able than he gives himself credit a lot of the time. So it was nice. It was nice to see him surprise himself. And be proud of himself as well. There's only so much you can do sometimes when it's regard to showing your children stuff. You can't do it for them all the time. Some things you just can't do for them. They've got to do it themselves. And that was one of those things. He just, Another one as well. When I was out shopping the other day, I saw. I think it was some sort of slightly special edition of the Beano, like it was a birthday edition or something like that. But I tried him. I bought him a copy of the Beano once before, a comic that I loved when I was a kid. And I just saw this one again. It caught my eye, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll try it with him again. Because it was about a year before I tried it with him. He's a very good reader, and he could read it absolutely fine. It was just more a case of that missing the tone of what was being said or the joke of what was being said. You know, he would get to the point where he would just read it very literally and very monotone. He wouldn't really pay attention necessarily to what he was saying or, you know, what the words really were. And tonight, you know, once it got to the point where we said, right, you know, enough of the Switch tonight, you know, chill out, do something else. I said to him, I said, well, why don't you go and get that copy of the Beano I got for you? He was like, oh yeah, I will. And if it weren't for the time's sake, he would have read it cover to cover, you know. He kept running in to tell me and my wife a funny bit that he'd just read or a story in it, stuff like that. Hello, Sabrantis. There's only a small game stream today. Going for nom 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 nom, then back for another stream for some painting. I'm doing Sigvald. Jew's painting nudes. Nice. Hello, Marco. How are we? Oh, what are you painting? The Plague expansion for Dead Zone. Nice. I've got a load of Plague for Dead Zone that I need to paint. I like that kind of lurid pink that Mantic have them painted. But I don't know if I'd quite go. I like it when it's like, what do you call? There's the name for the name. It's not like alpha, is it? It's like, I can't remember what it is, but the big dude, and then the ones below it, and then the sort of more normal zombie-ishy infected things. I don't mind it on the bigger dude ones and the middle-sized ones. Yeah, that's fine, mate. That's fine. Yeah, I don't mind it on the middle-east sort of size ones, but the sort of more man-sized infected ones, I think that pink doesn't. It just looks a bit weird. So I think I'll probably go with a slightly different colour when I eventually do get around to them. My Dead Zone stuff is not very high up on my priority list at the moment. Although having said that, but hello, hello to you too, buddy. This is the Terraton team for Dreadball from Mantic. So these are teleporting rhino tortoise things, and Dreadball being, the Mantic's far better take on a sports miniatures game than Steamforged and Games Workshop ever produced. Controversial opinion maybe, but it's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. Hello, Mr. Hughes. How the devil are we? Happy anniversary, good man. Oof, bit of a mash. Looks really cool. Anything with a turtle shell. What's bullshit? My opinion of Guild Ball was a good game, but it wasn't a sports game. When I played Guild Ball 2 or 3 times, I forget. And both times I played it, it was all about just kicking 7 shades out of each other with a ball sort of bouncing around on occasion. I'm pretty sure that I was trying to score, as you are supposed to score, by hitting the tree as it was in this one. And my other person was just scoring points by knocking all my people over. And I was a bit like, well, what's the point in the ball, you know? Guild Ball was one of those ones I really wanted to like because miniatures are so fabulous, and there is a game there. It's just I don't think the focus of the game was in the right place. But yeah, Dreadball is by far my favourite of the ones. Which teams are playing? Oh, I'm pretty sure I played the same team twice. I think, the fishermen, anglers, or whatever they're called. And I was playing against, I want to say it was the butchers or something like that. I disagree. I disagree that they've become more interesting to remove the ball. I like there being, aggression in these games, and it's I just it's just not what it's about for me. I can play a game where you beat seven shades shoot each other easily. That's just a 2-player skirmish game. When it's actually a game that's around a sport, I want the sport to be the focus. I don't even think you should get points for beating somebody up in it. Golf certainly was that for me sometimes. Dreadball. I think you probably like Dreadball, Dan. Yeah, well, that's the point. That was, maybe I got a bad demo off somebody who was just like, one of those demo people who just thinks, oh, this is going to be fun to smash the hell out of the person who doesn't know the game very well. This is the red grass painting handle. So it comes as this, and then you can buy X amount of these with the sort of sticky blue tacky kind of putty. Then they fit on it, and then also that is magnetic. Don't think I've got anything magnetic near me, but that's magnetic, so you can put a magnetic disc, so you can put it there and know you're not going to knock it over and stuff. But yeah, really lovely painting handle. But it's nice because you can spin it that way instead of always having to do it that way. I mean, sometimes I do just turn it in my hand, but it's nice that you can just do those sort of small manipulations where your hand is in a comfortable spot. But it's a lovely, red grass it's from. And this wet palette is a red grass wet palette. I really like this stuff. The wet palette's a smidge more expensive than some, but it's the quality of it is fabulous. Yes, I mean, like I say, Dan, sometimes you get a demo game off somebody and you just think, well, you probably shouldn't be demoing games because you obviously don't understand how to sell a game to somebody, And I'm not saying when you demo a game but to somebody you should let them win. I'm saying you should maybe highlight to them things that they might be doing wrong, or things they might be unaware of. Maybe point them in the right direction a bit tactics wise. And if you're any sort of normal human being, you'd be able to read whether that information is appreciated, or if they clearly don't want to be told what to do, and So yeah, it's the trouble when you get demoed a game. A bad demo can make you have a very sour opinion on a game. But I still do think the focus of, because I have said this to people before, and they've sort of said similar, that they didn't like the excessive levels of aggression in Guild Ball. So who knows? Having second thoughts about the cassette thing with Marvel Champions. I'm not sure I can be bothered deck building. Okay. I also just bought £100 worth of Arkham Horror LCG. I'm a bit spendy at the moment. Yeah, you are. Is it that good a price as it came out? I got it quite a while ago when they kickstarted it. Yeah, so that is good. Yeah, I mean, it's well worth it. It's a really quality product. I can't recommend it enough. Oh, it's a shame, Dan. I think I like it, but yeah, if deck building is not your thing. I thought you said you were going to do, because I quite liked your suggestion of basically having like a few bits of justice things already set up, you know, and so then you could just go bang and put those into a deck. So you kind of only deck build once. So that you've got those kind of pre-made, and you can add them into a player deck as you wish. I like that idea, and that's what I'm going to do. I've been playing on Tabletop Simulator quite a bit as well. Of course you're capable of it, for God's sake, man. Even if you got the lists off the internet, you know, you didn't have to do it yourself. Oh, did you? Were you after one of the like old school cassette case holders? I thought about getting one of those, and I just thought, no, I'm fine with it being in a box and making it fit that way. I do like the old idea of an old cassette case holder, though. You know how many cassettes I used to have? I remember having these big long ones, you know, opened up. Yeah, true, but you know, you could probably tweak them so that they're a little bit less, you know, so a little less specific, you know. I'm sure it can be done. I was only thinking the other day, I really wish they'd release some Venom for Marvel Champions. Well, actually, I tell you what, that would be. I would quite like them to release, instead of the, you know, after the Guardians of the Galaxy one, you know, a sort of a Spider-Man set would be quite good, you know, so you could have a hero of Gwen and Miles Morales, and maybe a hero of Venom. But then it'd be quite good if you had a hero deck for Venom and a villain deck for Venom. Are they? Is that the one that's coming out after the Guardians of the Galaxy one? Are they doing exactly that, a box set one of it? I haven't seen anything about that. Or are you on the know? Do you know something, sir? Has your inside track got you some information? Please text me everything you know if you do not wish to put it in front of the millions and the thousands in my YouTube chat. I could understand why you wouldn't want to put it in such a public spot. There's several things I just said after Gamora's Star-Lord will be Venom. Awesome. So he will just be a hero deck? Marco, Marvel Champions is a fabulous game. I like it for solo play. I think it's also a really good two-player game. I think when you go up to sort of 3 or 4 player, it slows it down a little bit, you know, waiting for other people. But it's still a very good game. If you like Marvel, then it's really good fun. It really, you know, you can get a lot of those kind of dream combos going. So you could have, you know, so and so hero against so and so bad guy. You know, there's still lots and lots and lots of characters and villains to come, but they're doing very well, and they're releasing them at a rate that isn't too overwhelming, which is not too bad for FFG, because they sometimes don't get their release schedule on point, I don't think, sometimes. But yeah, it's as a solo game, it's a really good puzzle. It's really challenging, bitey, without being over the top, and you can kind of set the difficulty level as well, which is great. Yeah, I really like it. Yeah, see, Dan, I think they're missing an opportunity with Venom. I think they're missing an opportunity to make the first hero villain expansion, because he is both. I think that would work really well, you know. But he's one of my favourites, so I want to play him as a hero. It seems ages ago that we used to do these together, Dan. When was the last time we did one of these together? Jesus Christ, that was a hell of a long time ago. Was that before the first lockdown? Marvel Legendary and Marvel Champions are very different games. I would advise, if it Flash Thompson version, I think. Oh, I see. Yeah, I would advise, if you are into your Marvel, and you're obviously, having played Marvel Legendary, you are in some way or form. I would advise picking up the base set, because there's a lot of game in that box. You've got 3 bad guys: Rhino, Claw, and Ultron, and then you've got Iron Man. Who have you got? Iron Man, She-Hulk, Iron Man, She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, and one more, but I can't think who it is. Iron Man, Captain Marvel, and yeah, exactly. As I was about to say exactly that. If you don't like it, you'll be able to flip it back for almost what you paid for it. You know, because it's a very popular game, and it's it's selling really well. So I mean, I would heartily advise picking up the base set on a bit of a punt. I think it's well worth it. Well worth it. There's a lot of game in that box alone. Black Panther. I always forget Black Panther. You know what? I don't think I've actually played as Black Panther yet. There's a whole bunch of heroes I've not used. And I'm pretty confident I've never used Black Panther, which is odd because he's actually one of my favourites. I was only thinking the other day, I put a whole load of stuff in my on Chaos cards in Marvel Crisis Protocol. I put a load of stuff in there, and nearly clicked by. But then I was like, nope, behave yourself. I'm a big Marvel fan and just finished painting the Marvel's Crisis Protocol core box. I played a game with my son. Really cool. It is a really cool game, isn't it? Yeah, I really liked it. I was very surprised at it wasn't just a straight up fight. You know, the whole objectives and the way it plays out in that sense really kind of surprised me. I really thought they would have just gone with a pretty simple set up your dream fight versus, but they didn't. They made far more game to it than I expected. And I really like it. And the minis keep getting better as well. The new X-Men ones, some of the sculpts on them are amazing, really dynamic, good looking stuff. I kind of wonder actually if kind of wonder if yeah, it does need a lot of terrain, but luckily, I mean, it comes with quite a nice chunk. It does need a lot of terrain, but also it doesn't need a very big playing surface, which is nice. So it's kind of sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of another. So you need a lot of stuff in that playing surface, but luckily it's not spread over like a 6'4", 6x4 area. Yeah, the TT Combat do some really nice, those brownstone buildings. They're the ones I intend to get, but I love TT Combat already. So I've got a whole bunch of their Western stuff now. I'm starting to get a load of their fantasy stuff. I want to get a load of their sci-fi stuff for Star Wars Legion / Stargrave as well. And I would like to get a load of their brownstone cityscape kind of stuff. I love making it. I was only saying on on Blackjack Legacy Facebook group, he did his weekend post. Somebody turned around to me and said, "Oh no, I'm not into miniatures game, but I love making and painting the MDF terrain." I would not bat an eyelid. Because I find it super satisfying. I really, really enjoy it. I absolutely love making it. And yeah, I would say I almost consider choosing the games I choose based on whether I could make cool MDF terrain for it, because I enjoy it that much. Elliot helped me put some of the stuff I've got for Frostgrave together. Other than the joints being extremely tight, he did really good. He enjoyed it. Now, do I go for black on this body armour, and then something quite bright? Missed his pissing tail. Do prime MDF as normal. I only tried plastic so far. Yeah, some people like to seal it with PVA and stuff like that first, to stop it soaking up so much. But I've found that usually after one undercoat of black, that because the MDF could soak in so much paint sometimes, I find that a cheap primer is usually the easiest way to go. Also, this will be the first time I'm going to use an airbrush on it, which obviously delivers the paint in a slightly different way. So I'm going to be intrigued to see how different that is. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. Do I do black? If I do black, what colour do I do the shell? Oh bloody hell! I missed all of his underside of that one's arm. Where was it? There. I think this is one of those things where I wanted to paint tonight because I felt a bit crap all weekend. Poundland primer for the win, indeed. Yeah, house paint. I've used tester paints on my Wild West stuff, Dan, with a roller and an extension cord, an extension pole. 3 to 6 foot extension pole should do the job beautifully. What was I saying? yeah, I felt crap all weekend, and I've wanted to paint, but hadn't had the right mindset. Then I decided, I was like, oh no, I'm going to get some painting done now. I'm probably not in the right frame of mind to do it, but I wanna. I cannot decide. I want the shell to be something quite poppy. I need to put my phone on charge. Warp lightning could be quite fun. Warp lightning is quite dark though. I don't know. No, that's not the colour I'm looking for. That's not the colour you're looking for. I think that's too dull, I think. Yeah, it's too dull. A mix? No. Nope. Oh, flesh is too dark as well, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh. Okay, let's get the black done first, and then go from there. That's the grey. That's the black. Where is it? Where are you, you bastard? No. Where the hell is it? For God's sake. Down here somewhere. Good night, Dan, mate. Happy anniversary again, buddy. Thank you for coming in. Much appreciated. Where the hell have I put the black? Oh, there it is. There it is. Right. I'm actually holding that, no, not remotely holding that on camera. Utterly useless for anyway. Is the Dead Zone stuff you're painting, Marco? Is that commission painting? Because you do commission, don't you? Yeah, I think this black could work actually, with bits of silver here and there or something like that. Do something just to bring out a bit more in it. I don't know how long I'm actually painting for tonight. I'm just, like I say, I just thought, I'll come. I'm tired. I want to do some painting. I'll go. I might as well stream. My last commission was the Trogoth Hag from Age of Sigmar. These days is just my effort to reduce the pile of shame. Did a quick census last week and I have 650 minutes excluding incoming Kickstarter. I don't want to do a census like that. No good comes from that for me. But I mean, it's going back over years. It's stuff that I kind of, I don't, I could probably get rid of it, and but a lot of it's not in condition worthy of getting rid of. So it's like, a lot of it I look at as a way to raid for the miniatures agnostic games, because I'm a fan of miniatures agnostic games. I think the concept for miniatures agnostic games is great. So yes, I shall be raiding all my stuff. I realised not too long ago that playing in big mass battle games is no interest in me anymore. As much as I look at a 40k army and think, oh yeah, I do love all those new Primara Space Marines and stuff like that. It's just no interest in me to collect a Space Marine army now. I would quite like to paint up some Primaris just because I do think they're bloody cool. But I'd be painting them for the sake of painting them, because I don't even think I could use Space Marines in like any sort of miniature agnostic game. They're too iconic for me to like see them as anything else, and I don't even think I could convert them to a point where I'd be like, yeah, you can't see that that's a Space Marine anymore. It's like, that canvas shouts through unless you change it quite drastically. You'd have to do a complete head swap for a start. You started in the hobby in 2018? You don't mean started from nothing, surely? You can't mean that, because you're too good a painter to have started in the hobby from 2018, Marco, surely. If I am understanding you right, that is insane that you're already at the level you are. In, we'll call it 3 years for the sake of argument. That is crazy. And I tip my cap to you, sir. It's funny, I would actually say, in a technical sense, I'm a worse painter than I used to be. But it's because now I don't try and do everything. My mantra of tabletop standard, and there is such a thing, Andy. I just, I'd rather it look just nice, just nice on the table than having, gone through loads of effort in it and just spent so long on it when it just didn't need to be. I respect the miniatures that have, because god damn it, they look amazing. But I was never as showcase quality. I probably could have been if I'd really pushed myself to learn all those techniques, but yeah, now I would just say I'm an above average painter, because I think I was probably a bit, my general finished product would have been higher than an above average paint job years ago. Yeah, just don't have the mindset for it now, kind of thing. I've got too many minis and too much stuff to paint, which is nothing but my own fault. You didn't even know? That's crazy, Mark. I can't. You're obviously very artistically minded. Then, were you like? Were you like hobby railroad stuff or something, or? Because you really are impressively talented for how long you've been doing this. I'm very impressed. You're the person then that I'd have to actually finally believe, or you might even make me believe more people online now, because you always get these people who go, "Oh, finally painted my first mini," and it's some mini, and I'm just like, really? That's your first mini? Because damn, that's good. And I was just think back of my first mini, which admittedly I was like 9 years old, 30 years ago, but I still look back at it and it's like congealed with paint and colour choices that just baffle the mind. And then you see somebody who's, I suppose the trouble is you have so much access to information now, all the YouTube tutorials you could wish for, which you just didn't have when I was a kid getting into all this. When I were a lad, I sound like a right old pensioner now. Yeah, you had painting guides which were kind of fine, but that's not necessarily everybody's best way of learning, sort of thing. And it certainly wasn't my best way of learning when I was a kid. You clearly bloody are good at following tutorials. Jesus Christ, you look like you're the one who should be writing the pissing tutorials of your finished work, let alone following the feckin' things. Jesus Christ, you have blown my tiny mind, Marco. Tonight, that is, I'm most impressed. So what made you get into it then, mate? What? How old are you, Marco, if you don't mind me asking? If that is not too rude a question. Yeah, I'm really intrigued. What caused the thing? Was it a friend? Was it a, walked past a Warhammer store and saw the rotating display in the window? Was like, ooh, that's all a bit cool. Because it's so. If you're mid to late 20s and mid 30s, you've done well to have avoided it, to just not have ever heard about it. Cut my bloody chin. Yeah, to just not have known somebody who did it, or when you were a kid, yeah, that's just crazy that you just never knew about it, and quite bizarre. Unless of course, so you're 37. Obviously, Marco, your name is clearly of I would assume Italian heritage. So have you not been in England all of those 37 years? Because I know Italy has a GW scene and stuff like that, but I don't know how big a scene it is. Certain European countries are far more into the miniatures games than others, like France and Spain have some pretty long-standing miniatures cred, as it were. But I could think of some good Italian game designers. I'm struggling to think if I know. A friend of mine posted a picture of a miniature and asked him, what was that? Wow, that's amazing. That's just crazy. Yeah, I can think of a few Italian designers. I'm trying to think if I know of any Italian companies. Corvus Belli. Obviously, I'm assuming you're Italian at this point, and I'm carrying on thinking that I'm completely correct. I might be absolutely wrong. But now I'm just going down a rabbit hole of what Italian companies there are. I just can't think of any. Sure, there are some. But yeah, I can only think of miniatures games. But then that makes me think, if I can think of several born in Italy, moved here 11 years ago. Okay, so yeah, you spent a lot of your life growing up in a place that I don't readily associate with Games Workshop so much. So okay, that does make some sense, but still still amazing that it just happened to pass you by. Wow, crazy. And I take it you have not looked back since 2018, and on the basis that you've got a collection to the size that it needed an audit. You've certainly jumped in feet first in at the deep end. So yeah, you got into Kill Team. That's quite a good start. Yeah. Do you still play Kill Team? I mean, not that anybody plays anything at the minute, but because we live quite close, don't we? If I remember rightly, you're Stevenage way, if memory serves. It's funny, I buy all these games to play them because I think, oh yeah, those rules are great, and oh, I really like that game, and da da da. I just don't play that many of them. You know, we'll play board games a lot quicker than we play miniatures games, although we kind of did that consciously. Ludus Magnus. Are these Italian? Air soldiers were the only thing I think I saw for them. Yeah, absolutely. Some very, very good Italian board game designers. Italy makes a good board game designer. As I say, and some very good miniatures game designers. Fact. Actually, hazard to say, Leighton Buzz close up. Yeah. Yeah, so do you still play or intend to play Cluedo Kill Team, or have you moved on from Kill Team to something else? Obviously Dead Zone has your attention. That's crazy that in 3 years you're a commissioned painter. That's friggin' nuts. That is absolutely nuts. You must have never mentioned that before on Blackjack Legacy Group, because I think everybody would be blown away by that. You are by far one of the most talented painters that regularly posts in that group. So yeah, that's just, jeez, wet, that is crazy. Have you ever considered entering anything into like Golden Demon or something like that? You absolutely are at the level to be doing something such as that. Ow. Sorry, just checking something quickly. Yeah, that's. I mean, you should be doing competition stuff, mate. That's really good. Guilty was too clunky for my son. War cream. Bloody hell, I know I'm tired. Warcry is our most played so far. Nice. I really need to play Warcry. Dan Hughes, who was in the YouTube chat earlier, he champions it. Obviously, Andy over at Blackjack champions it. It does sound like a really, really good game. I've got all the bits that I could make a little Goblin Warcry band. Just need to put it together and actually play it. I'm not too kind, Marco, and I'm not trying to flatter you. I am, if anybody knows me, I don't blow smoke up their ass for the sake of it. If I see something that impresses me, I will compliment somebody for it, and I will not be damning somebody with fake praise, that's for sure. You are extremely talented individual. I'm not too kind, you're too feckin' talented. Oh, I don't think you necessarily need to have an imagination. I mean, yes, you know, Golden Demon, you know, does. They go through cycles of what they really like, but yeah, you could easily do just a really great quality paint job can win Golden Demon. I think I don't know. I will have to look at the last like few years of Golden Demon stuff to see how they've gone. See what sort of things are winning. But like they've certainly gone through stages of when like conversions and tweaking of stuff isn't what seems to be winning things. How long have I been streaming for? Can't actually see anything to see how long it says. Time is it? 10 o'clock. Yeah, I don't think I'll stream too much longer. Bloody early with the kids. I would imagine then, Marco, being that you're a smidge younger than me, only a smidge, our kids are, our sons are probably at least similar ages. My boy is 7. I'm going to say yours is maybe a little older than mine. Or he's just got into the gaming earlier. do love these contrasts. Do you use contrast paints, Marco? Your paint jobs lead me to think you probably don't, but a lot of people do use them for lots of clever little tricks and techniques. It's funny, I feel they're kind of not the thing that GW sold to us all. Two kids, 11 and 6. There you go. Yeah, I thought one of them must be a smidge older. Paying only 2,500 points of Space Marine Army. There is a very active club nearby. Yeah, that's a good point, because obviously my career has changed very drastically in lockdown, and now there used to be a regular club that one of my best mates, his dad, started up many moons ago, and full of a bunch of old grognards who love some gaming, but it's some distance from me, and it's every Thursday night, and having worked in the hospitality trade for many years, my nights were very random as to when I had them and stuff. So hopefully I'm trying to think when it is you can go to things like that again, but I'll be able to actually get over there and do a lot more miniature gaming, which would be nice. Yeah, that would be. I hadn't really considered that. Now that I think about it. So nice to be working from home permanently now. Just not having to all that time wasted on commuting and stuff like that. It's all just gone from my life now. Fabulous. And is obviously not coming back either. Even once all the lockdowns are out, I continue to work from home. That is my job. So yeah, in a hobby sense, it will really change my existence. Just tried to put in my fucking thing. Egypt. I am tired. Yeah, it's a lot more likely that I'll get a lot of those games that I want to play played more over there. There'll be somebody who wants to play Armada or is playing Armada and stuff like that, rather than me sort of saying to my mates, oh, I've made up 2 army lists, who wants to come over and have a game of Armada, kind of thing. I use contrast quite a bit, honestly. They're great for quick base coats. Need to be super tidy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, mate. I mean, I'm so lucky. But I very much consider that. I consider it that I paid my dues for many years, working very, very hard at jobs that I probably didn't care as much as I should about, but still gave them my all, often for very little in return, and certainly a good old chunk of my life and stress and stuff, so to actually finally, you think the amount of times you say, oh no, yeah, I like my job, and then when you actually get a job you really like, and you're like, oh no, I didn't like my job, I just tolerated it to a slightly higher than average level. oh, actually, I didn't like my job. I liked the people I worked with, or, you know. It's certainly, this job has certainly highlighted that, you know, I'd been convincing myself and lying to myself for a long, long time, you know. And as is so often the case, it took everything to go wrong for me to discover it, you know. It's often the case, you know. Something great come from tragedy, you know. Obviously, it wasn't. When I left that, it wasn't a tragedy, but it wasn't. It certainly wasn't as intended, and certainly left me in a very, very panicked, you know, walking away from that job, realizing I didn't want to be in it and I needed to get away from it. Was you know, you got mortgage and kids, and that took a lot of guts and was extremely scary. And little did I know that a year or so down the line of, you know, making ends meet was going to lead to me working in the industry proper. Yeah, I mean, contrast paints, when you want to be a speed painter, which is my ultimate goal, getting as much done, you know, the best value on time. Contrast paints, they are the game changer. I hear you. I've been a secretary for 12 years. I mean, quite a few roles, had ups and downs, but now I'm a very happy place with the new manager and new role. Oh, good for you, my man. Good for you. Excellent. There's nothing worse than hearing somebody describe how much they hate their job, you know, 'cause it's such a soulless existence, and I always empathise with people when they do say how much they dislike their job, because I've certainly been there, you know. So good for you. So what brought you over from Italy 11 or so years ago? What landed you on the sunny shores of drizzly Britain from beautiful Italy? Was it a job thing? Was it love? Was it our woman? This is so often the case. Legonomics, how are you? I am very well. How are you? Cover amongst the food and the weather, surely. Yes, I mean, that's absolutely it, yeah. You know, you sit there in sunny Amalfi, you know, smelling the lemon trees, thinking, you know what? You just can't get enough doner kebabs around here. Why around here on the Amalfi Coast do they not serve mushy peas with everything? Why is that? I'm going to go find somewhere where they do. How are you then? Legonomics 2? Are you well? It was my choice. I was working for my current company out of Italy with an international role. Wanted to improve my English as well as have easier travelling. You can get direct flights from London. I see. Yeah, cool. Good. Lovely to hear it, Legonomics. Nice to have you here. Have you done, Marco? Have you done anything for the Blackjack Dreadball thing? You put a team in? Yeah, bloody autocorrect, Legonomics. You gotta love it, haven't you? I always say I've never written ducking. I've never intended to write ducking in an email or a text message, but autocorrect seems to think that's what I'm going for every time. And what led it to believe that? Ducking, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm painting up some Teratons from Mantic's Dreadball, which is their sci-fi sports game that kind of resembles Speedball 2 kind of vibe about it, like Tron Speedball 2 kind of thing going on, in case you weren't wondering. You were sensible. See, you can tell you're still sort of newer to the hobby, because actually I can't say you're that sensible, because your census has left you with 680 miniatures. So you showed restraint. Well done. Have you ever been to Salute, Marco? The South London War Games group. I think they started it on a very, very big. Basically, it's a trade show. Basically, down in Excel in London, and usually it's in April, but it's been pushed back this year. Obviously it was cancelled year before and so forth, but it's been pushed back to it's either September or November, I can't remember, but I haven't been for a good few. We used to go every year. It was always the sort of lads little geeky day trip out, we'd just go and look at all the cool stuff and pick up some bits here and there, but we stopped going for a while, and our housemate Steve said we really want to go, and my mate Summers has said he'd quite like to go along this year as well. It's a cool show for getting to go along and see some stuff. I'm waiting for Zombicide 2nd edition, Oathsworn Into the Deep Wood, Aeon's Temperature Kickstarter. Never went to the UK. Oh, you've been to the UK Games Expo? Oh, cool. Yeah, I love. How many years have I been going? Because I volunteer at the UK Games Expo, the first year I wanted to first year I really knew about it. It's about 6 years ago, I think, and I really wanted to go, but it was sort of like, it's one of those things, it's quite an expensive weekend. Oh, cool, definitely, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things like you really wanted to go, but I was like, oh, I don't know what it's like, it's hard to convince some mates, oh, should we spend hundreds of pounds going to this board game weekend? We've never been real convention goers, it's not our sort of thing. And then I saw about the volunteering, and I thought, oh well, that's they put you up in a hotel for the weekend, and you give them a bit of their bit of your time, and you still get to go to the whole shebang, So that was how I went for the first year, and then kind of every year I would be like, oh no, I'll just go for myself this year. I'll just pay for myself. I'll treat myself. And then every year I was like, for the sake of a few hours each day, and save a lot of money. So this year, if it does go ahead, I shall be going for work. I think I don't think I'll do anything for the UK Games Expo, but I do love it. It's not, no matter how they end up doing it this year, it will not be the same. But hopefully it'll still be good. I'm waiting to hear what show they're going to put on, and as to whether I go or not. Obviously I want to go in a work sense to do networking and talk to people about crowdfunding on GameFound and stuff like that, but I do also want to go for fun in some way or form. So I don't want to go to some awkward, overly social distanced. It definitely has to be social distanced to a point, but I don't want it to be too social distanced that you don't actually feel like you're really interacting with people, or if it's just awkward and weird. And but I know Andy's booked his hotel. I booked the same hotel as well, the Genting. So yeah, I'm really hoping to go. I was gutted that aircon didn't happen. I was really looking forward to aircon. It's just too much fun. Aircon will have to be next year, which will be here before I know it. But yeah, Salute's really good fun. It's just one of those cool shows where you just get to go and look at a load of the cool stuff you want to look at, and then you look around all these stands that you just, chances are you just wouldn't find them on the internet. You don't know, you might stumble across them, but they'd be hard to find, and they just might make some real niche little thing, or just some really cool little range of minis. It's just nice to see stuff like that and pick bits up. Is UKG confirmed when it is? It's confirmed. No, it's not confirmed. It is in for the end of July. 30th of July. Friday the 30th of July till Sunday the 1st of August. And yeah, it's still just kind of debatable as to exactly, they're basically just keeping their ears open as to exactly what they can, if they can, run anything. They've only got 2 of the 3 halls, I think it is. So it's definitely, without question, it will be smaller, whether they like it or not, basically. So I think, by the sounds of it, I think the tournament scene and the bring and buy scene is going to take a bit of a hit, which is fine. That's not, it's not the biggest deal, It sucks for tournament people and stuff like that, but I'm sure they'll still be able to do something. Next year is confirmed to carry on as normal, which hopefully will not be an issue. Do you have any tips for painting? I'm painting some orcs right now. I've got some tips for painting some orcs. One of the things, are you using Legonomics? Are you using contrast paints at all? Because if you are, don't use the orc flesh, because it's way too dark. No orc in a million years would be that dark. And actually, I would say it's almost perfectly one and done is this one, which is contrast plague bearer flesh. I think that, so if you actually see here, is when I was just checking some colours earlier, that is the orc flesh contrast. Now, whenever I've seen it put on to a mini, it's way too saturated. Even if you thin it down with contrast medium, it's still way too saturated. It's not too bad if you were going to do like the base for a dark black orc. You could kind of get away with maybe that. But this is, it's a bit hard so this is a little bit of plague bearer flesh, and it gives a really beautiful highlighted. If you go with plague bearer flesh as the base, then do all the rest, and then like do a wash of Agrax over everything, you're pretty much done. There is really very little else you have to do. So that would be my little bit of advice. Marco on in the YouTube chat, would you have any advice on painting orcs? I've never seen you. I can't remember if I've ever seen you paint some orcs. It depends on the tone of the orc flesh that you're going for. I think orcs look better as a lighter green than they do a darker green. Are we going for nearly 2 hours? Bloody hell. That Kickstart you've got coming, Marco, Oathsworn Into the Deepwood looks really cool. Never painted it. Useless, Marco. Why? That's what I'd go with Legonomics. I think that's obviously with orcs, chances are you're painting potentially quite a lot of them. So the faster you can get it done to a good level, the better. And that I think is the best orky looking flesh colour. Well, I think so. I didn't intend this to be particularly a long one, so I think I might finish it there, as I've got them all to the same stage, just a flesh and a base tone on some of them. So thank you very much for there you go, Marco, painting a few goblins, and I used a couple of camo shade wash over a zenithal. There you go. Camo shade, is that the contrast one? Camo shade. Which one? Have I got camo shade? I'm sure. Oh, I've got all of them. I know I have, but the Militarum green's not a bad one, but I think it's a bit too. I think it's a bit too dull. Militarum one actually might be good with a highlight over it. I've received 100 messages today from Restream. Oh, very nice. As usual. Oh, the wash. Yeah. Do I have the camo shade one? I don't think I actually do. I only have a few of the coloured washes for GW, but they are very good washes. Did I get a follow there or something like that? Oh, I did get a follow. Thank you, Legonomics. Thank you very much for following, mate. That's very kind of you. You took me to the 50. Took me to the 50. Well done. Thank you very much. Now, if I cared about it, I would actually be I could get to be an affiliate. But because I want to stream onto YouTube and Twitch, I can't be an affiliate for Twitch because they don't let you stream to both. Yeah, I'm just sticking with both. So. But I drastically appreciate the follow. It's very kind of you. Yeah. Yeah. If contrast is one of your ways to do it, Legonomics, that's how I would go with it. I think for the flesh, it's just whatever you can do to get it done sort of quickest, without wanting to sound too slapdash about it, you know. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night there. Thank you very much. I shall be on again soon to do some painting, no doubt, because I want to get these team done. So probably during the week, I shall get them finished on a live stream. But thank you everybody who's been here. On all the best. See you soon. Bye.